couple months ago, my son and I were driving around our FBO, kind of seeing what's on the ramp. You know, we want to make sure all of our customers are taken care of. And I see this airplane sitting back in the corner, and I'm like, Christian, do you know what that is? And he's like, no. And I said, man, that's a Globe Swift. I'm like, that is World War II design technology. And post-World War II, it found a lot of homes because it's got great speed. It's an agile little airplane. The owner of this plane is a wonderful young man. He's a professional pilot. He's worked really hard to get into this great career, and he's second generation pilot. You know, dad's a pilot as well. And so in the past, he's kind of buffed on this airplane himself, because anybody that's out there that owns a polished metal airplane or even sections of polished metal on an airplane, you have to understand the time and sacrifice it takes a team to keep that thing looking beautiful. When you look at the after, it just makes me smile. I mean, you got to remember, this airplane is 80 years old. Most human beings that were around when this airplane was built are dead.
That's nice, Dad.
And this thing is still shining, and it's still flying, and it's in great shape. And so to be able to work on a piece of history like this is just goodness gracious. Aluminum alloy is something that's been used on aircraft almost since there was aircraft. I mean, the Wright flyers were obviously pretty much cloth and twigs, but as soon as you got into the first decade of aviation, they started building airplanes with aluminum. And then, you know, by the time you got into World War II, most of your airplanes were made out of aluminum. Most of your fighters, bombers were all aluminum. You know, this is World War II vintage, but this is back when the quality of alloys and stuff like that, you know, like aluminum, I mean, it just is very high quality alloy. You know, what the US used was good stuff. Hence, there are still warbirds flying that have original aluminum on them still, and they're flying 80 years later. And these were planes that were initially designed to last weeks or months before they were shot down or destroyed. You have to have the right machine, the right pads, the right kind of compound and polishes to really make one of these shine like we did. And so metal polish, like a lot of things, on the surface, it looks like, well, this ought to be simple. I'm just gonna grab a buffer and some compound, and I'm just gonna buff the crap out of this metal, and it's gonna look great. Well, no, it's not. What you're gonna end up doing is paying a shop like mine a lot of money to fix it after you literally screw up the metal. So if you don't use the right machine, you're gonna end up with swirls. So you can't just use a single head buffer to buff metal. You have to use a very specific and actually quite expensive buffer that has dual counter rotating heads, and then you use the right series of polishes in order to get the metal to come up. The whole idea is to polish the metal, but not have it look like it's polished. The interior on this airplane is really good for a Swift. So we did a cleanup and a touch-up. Basically, at the end of it, we did a show detail to get this thing ready to fly into Sun and Fun, and then we actually kept it in our hangar until he left for Sun and Fun to make sure it stayed dust-free. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching the channel. You know, we're working really hard to bring some really good variety, different types of airplanes that we're working on. We're just getting finished up with the Piper Cherokee, so we've got some new videos going to be coming out on our build on that. Boy, is that plane really coming together nice.